Hello everyone, this is Griffin, art director for Psychospectacle, and today we'll be doing another Ardomanian lesson, this time in punctuation. Last time we covered some very basic phrases, phrases to get you through life in Ardoman. So now that we know some basic phrases, let's start building onto the structure of Ardomanian. And I guess the simplest thing to start with would be punctuation. Punctuation in Ardomanian works very differently than it does in English. And to be honest, I'll be gradually talking about punctuation throughout these lessons because where you put punctuation and how you pronounce your punctuation can completely change the meaning of a sentence. It can, append stuff to the sentence. It gets a little complicated. Oh, sorry if you heard some wobbles. I bumped my mic there. Whoops. Okay. So, let's do some punctuation. This one should be pretty short, hopefully, if I don't ramble on too long. Okay, so let's get started. You've probably, whenever you see me write sentences, you've probably noticed that everything's enclosed in sort of this bracket, like, notation. Both of these are punctuation symbols, and both of them do different things in a sentence. Like, this pen's really sensitive, sorry. Let's just, write something in here. So vride se. You know what, I'll write the IPA out for this as well. Someone suggested that I do that. It's not half a bad idea. Hopefully I can get this right. No, it's not that. Sorry, my IPA is a little rusty. It should be that, I'm pretty sure. That O is a bit bad. There we go. So vride se. Yeah, I'll be just writing the IPA out whenever I do anything now. Romanizations as well. You know what? I'll do romanizations when we actually get to the things we're talking about today. I could go all about yesterday with romanizations, but let's not do that. not yet. We'll do that in a second. This is just an example. So vride se. This guy on the bottom here, let's talk about the top, because this is the one I'm not covering today. This top guy here, sorry, the pen is just so sensitive. Okay, this top guy right here, this is the tense of the sentence. We'll call it a tense marker. This, depending on, how you say it, or depending on which one you use, changes the tense the sentence is in. So right now, it's in, standard present tense. And that is for that guy there. Well, actually, it would be for that guy. This is something else, but really, this is also present tense. The reason this little tail here is a different punctuation reason that I'll explain in a second. There are three, major punctuation things in an Ardomanian sentence, and that'll come in later. This first guy up top, he's the tense marker. This standard guy you see here, if I had some room, this guy, that makes no sound, but it means present tense. It's standard, so it doesn't really, it's not pronounced. If we did something, you've seen this before, xiri, this is like composite past tense. It is pronounced because it is different than the standard, and every different punctuation has its own pronunciation, so it's good to know those, because they will change your sentence completely depending on what they are. This guy down here is what we'll be talking about today. That is, it's not really a period, but it's a period. This is, let's call this the emotional. We'll call this emotional punctuation. That's good enough. We'll call this guy emotional punctuation because it represents emotions, or well, not really emotions, but it's like if the well, it can represent emotions. It can also represent if it's a statement, a question, or an exclamation. So this guy right here, let me clear up some room. That guy right there is your standard, period. And whenever you see me, or if you've noticed, whenever I read a sentence in Ardomanian, most of them so far, I think except for one, where's the bathrooms? I did that one the other day. Most of them so far have ended with se. And that's this guy here. That's me pronouncing him. Se. That would be just if you wanted to say a period. Se. And the reason it's pronounced is so when you're speaking, you know when a sentence ends and you know when a sentence starts, because grammar in Ardomanian can get a little convoluted at times, and you need something to tell you when the heck something's done with. And the third guy I was going to talk about, that's this tail here. Normally it would be notated as this over a word, and then you'd have some more words over here and some more words over here. This is the actual period in a sentence. This marks where the sentence actually ends. If you've noticed in grammatical structure in Ardomanian so far, we'll be talking about something over here and it'll refer back to something over here. Well, this just lets you know where the sentence actually ends and where your brain can start backtracking the information in the sentence. So that is the actual period of a sentence. It's pronounced so. And since this is like a fragmented sentence, it just kind of blops right into that guy up top. It could be that. I guess it could be that too. It's just like abbreviating, or it's the same notation. It's made to look nicer. Okay, so that's basically those are the concepts for today. So let's just get some vocab in, or some vocab is in, some punctuation. I'm just going to be talking about emotional punctuation today. We don't need to go into tenses because we're not learning any tense other than present yet. So let me write the thing with tenses, or not tenses, the thing with these punctuation marks in Ardomanian is there are a lot of them. And it's very regional where you are in Ardoman. It's very regional depending where you are in Ardoman. These are pretty. I'll do these 5 first. Or it's probably 6. I'll do these 6 first. These would be the most standard. No matter where you are in Ardoman, you're probably going to hear these. Any other one is regional, like history of Ardoman, which we may or may not talk about in due time. But I can give you a little info right now. There's a lot of conflict in this country. So over time, the state it's in now, it's been broken apart very widely. It's separated into 16, sectors, or I guess states, maybe not really states, but 16 parts. And each place has many different cultural, like it's like you could jam so many different cultural communities into one section, or sector. Like there's just a lot of cultural variance in Ardoman because of the conflict. So this really comes out in the language. There are a lot of different emotional punctuation marks. It's impossible for me to teach you them all because you could be in one part of Ardoman and then be in the next, and there'd be a completely different set. That's why I'll teach you this 6 and some extra just for fun. But these 6 are standard. You'd hear them anywhere. Honestly, anything else other than if you're in a specific region of Ardoman, it would honestly be used for poetry. You wouldn't even use them a lot in those cases. Ardaman's reached a point in time where, you know, those smaller things, they're prominent and they're important to those cultural communities in Ardaman. However, they're not necessarily spoken. So anyway, I'll stop rambling. Let's talk about these.